Good morning. My name is Luke. I'm a curate here at Ascension, and I'm very glad to be with you on this first Sunday of 2021, Epiphany Sunday, when we retell that story of Jesus being revealed to the magi from the east. And I thought, it's the beginning of a new year, we've just had Christmas, I might just take these few minutes to share with you some of my presents that I received over Christmas. Who was happy with their presents? Who enjoyed opening some presents this Christmas day? Yes, excellent. Me too. Well, I'm just gonna, we're just gonna have a bit of a bring and share session with my presents, if you don't mind. And we're going to start off with this book. It's by Graham Tomlin, who's the Bishop of Kensington, and somebody gave this to me for Christmas, and it's called "Why Being Yourself is a Bad Idea and Other Countercultural Notions." And I'm really enjoying reading it because it asks an important question, which is basically this: what is the good life? What is the good life? Or as you may phrase it in today's parlance, what does it mean to be my true self? What does true, authentic, good existence look like for humans? And I'm just going to read a couple of excerpts from it to kick us off. Here we go. Bishop Graham Tomlin. German sociologist Hartmut Rosa suggests that there is no agreement in the modern world on what it means to live a good life. So we are left with a kind of ethical pluralism as the norm. Yet he points out that we do have almost universal agreement on the preconditions needed to get to our version of the good life. To attain a good and happy life in whatever shape you want it to be, you need to secure enough money, friends, knowledge, health, rights to achieve it. And then this sociologist says, secure the resources you might need for living your dream, whatever that might be. That is the overriding imperative of modernity. Secure the resources you might need for living whatever dream that might be, whatever dream you choose for yourself. Okay, there's one idea about what the good life might be, what being yourself might be. But Graham Tomlin says, what if there is another way? What, he suggests, if we find our true selves not by looking within, with our self and our own privately decided dream as the focus, but what if we were being drawn out of ourselves to find ourselves by something outside? In the spring, he writes, as the sun begins to warm the air and the earth, you begin to see barren land sprout flowers, and bare branches are soon covered with leaves. The warmth of the sun brings out the hidden potential lying deep in the sap of the trees or the seeds planted deep in the soil. A tree in summer, he says, has become its true, glorious self. Not by regenerating itself from within, but by being drawn out by the sun as it sheds its light and heat. Maybe we too become our true selves by turning not inwards, but outwards, towards a source of life that is constant, steady, waiting for us to turn in its direction. So there we go. We've got two pictures of what the good life, what being your true self might be. On the one hand, it's kind of you against the world. You decide what you want to do, what your purpose is, and you make sure you accrue the right resources in order to achieve that. On the other hand, it's kind of the opposite. You actually find yourself by losing yourself, by being drawn out of yourself to those around you and towards God. And I'm pretty sure that the kind of good life that Jesus calls us to and promises really is the good life is more in that second camp. And we see it in the story of the magi, don't we? They live in a faraway land in the east, but they are just drawn out of their home, their comfort, to a strange place, following a star in the sky. And they're drawn out of themselves. And in doing so, they discover themselves. They discover who the king of the world really is. It's Jesus. And then when they find Jesus, it doesn't stop there. They keep on giving. They give him lavish gifts of... Can you remember what those gifts were? It wasn't gold, money, and fish, I think was Patrick's version, but what was it? Thank you. Gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Which brings me to some of my other Christmas prezzies. Basically, I want to think with you a bit about what are some of the rules for living the good life as a Christian? What are some of the basic rudiments of Christian existence? At the beginning of a new year, 2021, what are some of the basics? Let's go back to basics. And we're going to look at some of my presents to help us do that. I need a volunteer. I need a child volunteer. Okay, fantastic, Oliver. I want you to come up here, please, and stand on that mat over there, that blue mat. You see it? Good stuff. Now, I want you to have a look and see what's in that bag. This is exciting. It's like me opening my Christmas present for a second time. What's it going to be? Oliver, what is that? Money. Oh my goodness, how much money? I can see we've got 20, and what's underneath? Is that a 10 there? Let's see. We got 2 20s and a 10. Oh my goodness. Which is how much? 2 20s and a 10? Come on, guys. How much is 20 plus 20 plus 10? £50. Oh my goodness. Oliver, this Christmas, somebody gave me £50 in cash. How generous is that? And this gift reminds me of the first gift that the Magi gave to Jesus, which was gold, treasure, valuable stuff, money. And when the Magi gave this to Jesus, it was a way of saying who he was. He is royalty. He is important. He is a king. He is the king of the universe come down to be with us in a little baby. But when this little baby grew up into an adult, he had a fair bit to say about money and treasure and our possessions. And I wonder if we can have the next quote up, please. It's from later on in the Gospel of Matthew. I can't actually see. I'm just going to come in front. Next one, please. Sorry. Jesus answered, "If you want to be perfect, go, sell your possessions and give it to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Then come, follow me." Oh my goodness, that is a challenge. But that is one of the basic rules of Christian existence, is generosity with our money, with our possessions. This 2021, you're going to have all kinds of decisions thrown up before you, all kinds of situations where you don't know what to do. But this is one of Jesus' rules for living the good life. If in doubt, give. Be generous. Okay, Oliver, I want you to just stay with your money because I don't want anyone running off with it, please. Just you're my banker for the next 5 minutes. Now, I need another volunteer, please, to come. Yep, I saw a hand come up pretty swiftly there. Come on up. Thank you, Beatrice. Let's give her a round of applause. Let's give a bit of encouragement. Now, Beatrice, I want you to stand on that mat, thank you, and see what's in that bag. Oh my goodness, what's that? What do you think it is? It's not actually soap. It says Hugo Boss, and it is a rather attractive little bottle, and it is male fragrance. This is a perfume for men, and I've never been given or owned a perfume before. Is that what you call it? What do you call it when a man has perfume? Aftershave, okay. I've never had that before, and so whilst being very pleased with this gift, I really like it. It smells very nice. I haven't quite passed that threshold of actually putting it on, because I think, people will surely be like, "Luke, why all of a sudden are you wearing this smell?" Anyway, my mind is boggled by this gift, but I'm very happy with it. And it reminds us of frankincense, the second gift that the Magi gave, which was a special expensive perfume used in worship, used in temple worship to praise God. And it spoke of Jesus' holiness, his specialness. He is different from normal. But when this little baby Jesus grew up, something else momentous happened to him involving expensive perfume. Can we have the next slide up, please? This is what happened. A woman came to Jesus with an alabaster jar of very expensive perfume, which she poured on his head as he was reclining at the table. Imagine if Beatrice just unscrewed that and poured it on my head. I'd be like, what are you doing? It's an absolutely ridiculous thing to do. And the people around Jesus thought so. They were angry. They said, this woman is behaving preposterously. She should have, if she was going to waste this money, this perfume, she should have sold it and given the money to the poor. But Jesus says, and bear in mind, he's covered in perfume at the time. Jesus says, no, what she's done is beautiful. What she's done for me is beautiful. And then he even goes on to say, and wherever my gospel is proclaimed around the world, it will be proclaimed in remembrance of her, of this act of extravagance. So there's rule for the good life number 2. We've got number 1, which is if in doubt, give, be generous. And number 2, if in doubt, be extravagant towards God. Put him first. The woman in that moment didn't care what the people around her thought of her. She just went for it and wasted this perfume on Jesus. If in doubt, put God first. Live extravagantly for him. Which of the choices before you will give more glory to God? All right, thanks, Beatrice. Let's just hold on a second here, our volunteers. I need one more, please. We're going to explore one more present. Yes, right at the back. Come on. Yep. Let's give her a round of applause as she comes up to the front. Well done, Elodie. Please would you stand on the far mat over there and have a look in that bag. This is another Christmas present that I received. What will it be? What is it? Chocolate? Is it a particular kind of chocolate? What's on the front? It's a chocolate Santa that I received in my stocking. Now, this chocolate reminds me of myrrh. Bear with me a little bit. Myrrh was used to embalm dead bodies. It's what people used to treat and prepare people who had died for death. And this chocolate reminds me a little bit of that, because chocolate, it's here one day and the next it's gone. It's ephemeral. It doesn't last. A little slightly tenuous link, but come on. I didn't get any myrrh for Christmas, so what do you expect me to do? Chocolate reminds us that life is fleeting, that we're not in control of it, that we are only here for a short time. And when the wise men gave Jesus the myrrh, they were saying, yes, this baby's going to die, as does everybody else, but his death is going to be significant. It's going to be a sacrifice. It's going to change the course of history. Everything is going to turn around this point, this death of this baby when he's older. And when the little baby Jesus grew up, he had a fair few things to say about death and dying. And perhaps the most challenging one was this. This is also in the Gospel of Matthew a little bit later. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will find it. This is rule number 3 of the Christian good life. If in doubt, sacrifice. If in doubt, be ready to hold yourself and your life lightly. You're not the center around which the universe turns. God is, and your job is to live for him. So it's okay. We can hold ourselves lightly. We don't need to cling to our lives. We can do that. We can be ready to give our lives away. And that's a challenge, isn't it? But that's what Jesus calls us to. So this 2021, we've got some rudiments of the Christian life there. If in doubt, sacrifice. Now, Elodie, open that box up, if you wouldn't mind, and I want you to eat that chocolate. Can you open it? Well done. That's right, rip it open. It doesn't need to be neat. Well done. Do you want to bite it and see what it's like? Oh, I think that's probably okay. 3-second rule, quick. Okay, give it a little blow and then have a little taste. How is that? Nice, good. And soon it will be no more. Soon it will be gone. We can treat ourselves like chocolate. We are important, we are nice, we are special, but we won't be here forever. But that's okay. God holds us in his hands. He promises us resurrection. We can hold to ourselves lightly and live sacrificially. Well done, Elodie. Let's give her a round of applause. And you can go back to your seat and you can enjoy the rest of your chocolate. Do you want to go back to your seat at the back? Well done. Okay, now Beatrice, I tried to unscrew this earlier because I thought maybe we could actually pour some out, but I couldn't unscrew it. It's on too tightly. So luckily, we're not going to be pouring any perfume yet. But why don't you just give it a little bit of a spray in front of you and then walk into it and don't fall down the steps. And then you'll have a nice, admittedly masculine scent for the rest of the day, but, you know, it'll still be nice. So why don't you spray it in front of you and then just take a step into it. Okay, now step into it. Excellent. Step back. Well done. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Beatrice. And then leave that here because I want to give it a try later on. If in doubt, live extravagantly. Put God first, like that woman pouring out the perfume over Jesus' head. And finally, you've been so patient here, guys, and you've actually got another helper here, Annabelle. Well done. I want you to keep this £50. No, I don't. Only joking. But instead, what I'm going to do is if you want to put that £50 back in the bag, I have decided that I'm going to give that £50 away to a charity that I support. Because remember, rule number 1, if in doubt, give. Be ready to give away your possessions. And Oliver, I don't want you to be leaving empty-handed, so I've actually got you a £50 chocolate note here. So you can enjoy that later at your leisure. So thank you, Oliver. And actually, Annabelle, I've got a £20 here for you. So there you go. Well done. Let's give them a clap. You can go and have a seat back down. You remember at the beginning we looked at those 2 ways of life. One was about getting resources for yourself. One was about actually looking outwards and living in a way that is self-denying, living in a way that is being drawn out of yourself towards God and those around you. Well, there are some simple ways where we can step into that life that Jesus calls us to, that the wise men exhibit. If in doubt, give, be generous. If in doubt, put God first, be extravagant towards him. And if in doubt, be sacrificial, be ready to hold yourself and your life lightly. And God is alive, God is with us, and I think God may be wanting to prompt us at the beginning of a new year, each of us individually, to adjust how we live, to align ourselves more nearly with that good life of being drawn out of ourselves towards him. So we're going to have a piece of music now, and it's one of my favorite Christmas carols, and it's got a line in it, which comes at the end, about giving him our heart. And so I want us to listen to this piece of music, and as we do, listen to God, and see how God may be wanting us to turn our hearts towards him and give more generously towards him and those around us this 2021. So let's pray together as we listen to this music.
In the bleak midwinter,